Straight ahead on CCX News, a legislative decision affecting Maple Grove. It could help the city develop more of its gravel mining area. Plus, good advice for graduating high school students. We'll dive into student loan debt. But first, changing speeds on I-94. The new speed limit's meant to increase safety. CCX News starts right now. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. Minnesota State Troopers have given out 119 speeding tickets since I-94 construction began between Brooklyn Center and downtown Minneapolis.
But now there's changes to the speed limit in an attempt to make the highway safer while construction continues. Eric Nelson has more.
Even in a cone zone, I-94 sometimes resembles a NASCAR track, with drivers whizzing by construction areas at high speeds.
There have been some crashes in the work zones.
That's why MnDOT has lowered speed limits while this monster project continues.
It's just safer for everyone. Safer for drivers, safer for the construction crews.
Beginning today, the speed limit has been reduced from 60 to 50 miles per hour on westbound I-94.
The signs are out. They're pretty easy to see. The State Patrol is going to be out there enforcing it.
On Friday, speed limits also dropped to 50 miles an hour on eastbound I-94. MnDOT's motivation is to eliminate as much risk as possible for drivers.
Safety is the #1 factor.
And construction workers who are constantly in harm's way.
You're really only separated by some barrels and some cones, so it's a challenging situation for them.
Despite these challenges, progress is being made on the $46.3 million project. The concrete ribbon now has some new blacktop in both directions.
Just make it really nice and drivable again.
Replacing the craters and potholes that once marred the road.
So it'll be nice and smooth. If you go, again, we opened the west side, westbound 94 this morning, and the blacktop there is nice and smooth, so it's a good ride.
If you do get a ticket in a cone zone, the fine is $300 plus court costs. Another thing to remember is this: the speed limit is always in effect, even if there are no workers on site. Reporting along I-94, I'm Eric Nelson, CCX News.
The I-94 construction continues through late October.
Protesters demanding justice for Khaleel Thompson filled the Crystal City Council chambers on Tuesday night. Among those who joined in the protest was Naomi Thompson, the mother whose 18-year-old son Khaleel was shot 2 weeks ago at Bassett Creek Park. That morning, Khaleel Thompson was seen with a weapon. His mother says something should have been done the night before when police were called to a Crystal home where her son was having suicidal thoughts.
Because they put him in imminent danger when they left him there.
That's right.
And didn't do anything at all to help him.
That's right.
The State Bureau of Criminal Apprehension is doing an independent investigation into the shooting. Several of the protesters say they don't trust the process and won't trust the outcome. Khaleel Thompson remains hospitalized with injuries to his brain and abdomen. The 4 Crystal police officers involved in the shooting remain on administrative leave.
A vacant piece of land in Maple Grove could soon be home to new offices and high-paying jobs thanks to a decision by the state legislature.
We're excited about it. It's finally gotten done the right way, and so now we're really looking forward to being able to use this development tool to help the city.
State lawmakers approved a tax increment financing district for Maple Grove that will help the city develop the gravel mining area east of the Lowe's home improvement store. City officials say that because the site is a reclaimed gravel area, developers would have faced additional expenses related to roads and sewers compared to other sites. But thanks to the legislature's approval of the TIF district, anyone hoping to build on the property won't have to spend extra money on development costs.
This will lead to better jobs in our community that will not only provide our citizens with better jobs, but they will also be able to provide more spending in our community as well.
Mayor Stephenson says the city's vision for the site wouldn't be more retail, but rather office warehouses and higher-paying medtech jobs.
Improvements are coming to a Golden Valley Park and replacing equipment that's more than 20 years old. The City Council has approved a makeover of Schaper Park that'll cost $480,000. Golden Valley and Three Rivers worked together to design a high-tech obstacle course as well as playground equipment for people with disabilities.
This will be the first one actually located in our state and available for folks to come as a destination to use that facility. And as all-inclusive playgrounds, I know they're popping up in other municipalities. We don't have one here in Golden Valley, and it becomes a really nice opportunity. Kids of all abilities now will be able to go to that park, utilize those facilities, have a great afternoon playing on that play structure.
Demolition starts in July and should be wrapped up in the fall, just in time for the Super Bowl. City leaders hope the facilities will be a big draw for football fans, even in the winter.
Meanwhile, street rebuilding work in Golden Valley continues on Douglas Drive. The work includes replacing underground water pipes, which means that a number of properties on Douglas Drive will be without water for a short period later this week. To minimize the inconvenience, water will be shut off overnight. The schedule calls for homes and businesses in the area to be without water on June 9th and the 10th between 7 p.m. and 7 a.m. Property owners are told to store enough water for drinking or cooking before it's shut off.
A psychiatric hospital that serves a growing number of kids and teens in need of mental health services will begin expanding this summer. PrairieCare Hospital in Brooklyn Park recently got the go-ahead from the state to add a second bed in 21 of its 50 hospital rooms. This will help boost the capacity of the facility, which is frequently full. PrairieCare is also adding new outpatient programming next week with the opening of a new facility next door.
A change at a local nonprofit will mean a meal upgrade for the dozens of people in Brooklyn Park and Brooklyn Center who rely on Meals on Wheels for a healthy dinner. CEAP is changing from using a for-profit caterer to a nonprofit provider called Kitchens of Opportunities. The goal is to provide high-quality, fresh ingredients as well as reducing the costs. CEAP officials say the change is about serving people in the best way possible.
We can be focused on clients and not necessarily the bottom line. Obviously, cost is a consideration, but the biggest priority is providing excellent meals to our clients. And working with nonprofit partners is the way to do that and reduce cost at the same time.
All the work is done with volunteers. CEAP delivers meals to about 130 clients. Still ahead, something for high school grads to think about, some tips for a good financial start.
Plus, local teams are set to begin play in the state softball tournament.
But first, more sun and 80-degree temperatures on Thursday. We'll be right back.
As college graduates finish up school this spring, a whopping 70% of students are leaving with more than just a diploma.
Some are leaving with hefty student loan debt. Reporter Shannon Slatton shares a few common student loan mistakes the class of 2017 should avoid.
Well, when you get out of school and you find out, now I have an apartment, now I have groceries, now I have laundry soap, and I have everything that comes with it, it's shocking to see how expensive life is.
Financial professional Trey Peterson with Principal Preservation Services says when the pomp and circumstance of graduation is over, there are big decisions to make about money. Even though that student loan debt might be intimidating, start paying and don't default, because that could mean paying more money in the long run.
They're racking up fees, they're racking up interest. Not only are they going to have this huge debt that they may never be able to pay off, but now they're possibly ruining their credit score.
If you do consolidate your debt, read the fine print and make sure it's in your best interest.
You want to make sure that you're decreasing your interest rate on the average amount of loans that you're consolidating into one. The second thing that you want to do, just as an example, is oftentimes people are moving their school loans from federal owned loans to private owned loans.
Peterson says private loans could be less flexible with higher fees than federal loans. Another money mistake is not having a budget early on.
So make sure you have a budget A budget is telling your money where to go instead of wondering where it went.
Finally, it's advice graduates might not have heard in their commencement address or even their college career. But starting savings accounts and retirement accounts early is very important.
Just get on a budget plan, start your savings plan right away. Even if it's small, you're starting a habit that you're going to have the rest of your life.
For Money Savers, Shannon Slatton, CCX News.
Still ahead, taking a vacation in Brooklyn Park. We'll explain coming up.
But first, a late rally sends a local prep baseball team on to the state tournament. John Jacobson has the details next.
I'm John Jacobson with sports. Defending state Class 4A baseball champion Wayzata aimed for a return trip to the state tournament yesterday. Hopkins hoping to sweep a pair from Wayzata in the Section 6 final. The Royals get on the board with 3 runs in the third. Luke Poliak lines a single to center to score Ben Wallin and Tommy Off to make it 3-0 Royals. Wayzata quickly answers. Will Oberg's long drive to right center tips off the glove of Wyatt Nelson to score 3 runs. The Trojans then go ahead on a sacrifice fly to lead 4-3. It stays that way until the top of the 7th inning, and Hopkins erupts. Morgan Holmes with a ground rule double down the left field line for a 5-4 lead. It's 6-4 Royals heading to the bottom of the 7th. But Wayzata's not done. After they tied on a sacrifice fly and bases-loaded walk, Bobby Isbell delivers the game and section-winning hit, scoring Charles Engdahl the winning run. Wayzata repeats as section champion, 7-6 the final. Champlain Park and Maple Grove play in section finals Wednesday evening. In Class A, Heritage Christian Academy is trying to keep its dream alive of reaching the state tournament. The Eagles meeting Mounds Park Academy in the Section 4 elimination game. Top of the third, 2 on, tied at 1. Mounds Park's Isaac Esch coming through. This hit scores John Ogden and Ben Nippold, and the Panthers are up 3-1. Bottom of the third, the Eagles get one back. Tyler Broderson with a fly ball to the fence, scoring Seth Helverson, and it's 3-2 on the 2-out double by Broderson. Bottom of the fourth, Helverson drills a shot to the center field fence. Nathan Sawtell hustles around, tying the score at 3 on the triple by Helverson. And then he comes home on a Mounds Park error, giving the Eagles a 4-3 lead. Mounds Park loads the bases on the top of the 7th inning, but Heritage gets the final out of the game, and they advance on to the section final with a 5-3 win. They'll play Legacy Christian Thursday at noon at the University of Northwestern in St. Paul. After 2 regular season losses to Rochester Mayo, the Wayzata boys tennis team beat the Spartans 4-3 in the state Class AA quarterfinals Tuesday. That put the Trojans into the state semifinals Wednesday morning against Eastridge. Eric Williams of Wayzata won a big match against Mayo and faced Luke Frittinger of Eastridge today. Williams in the far court. He wins this rally when Frittinger's shot goes long. Williams wins 7-6, 6-3. Third singles, it's Jordan Stevenson of Wayzata on the far court against Caleb Frittinger. Stevenson comes to the net and then delivers a nice winner there, but he lost his match 6-3, 6-4. First doubles play, it's Wayzata's Nick Getz and Matt Hagan in the near court. Hagan with a couple of nice shots, but Eastridge's Nitin Devakenich gets an overhead smash for a winner there. Trojans' only wins come at fourth singles and second doubles. Wayzata loses 5-2. They're playing Mounds View for third placing at this taping of CCX. The state softball tournament starts Thursday in North Mankato. Maple Grove will make its 7th state tournament appearance. The Crimson tuned up for the Class 4A tourney, where they drew top seed and defending champion Chanhassen in the opening round. After just missing out on qualifying last season, Maple Grove won the Section 5 title by defeating Spring Lake Park in the second of a doubleheader after losing the first one to the Panthers. Maple Grove is eager to see what they can do at the state tournament.
A lot of our team has been there before, even if we weren't playing, and we kind of know what to expect as far as like the intensity. So I think we're gonna do good this year.
This is my first time at state in Minnesota, and this is my first time playing with this team here. And I'm really excited to see the competition and see people that I play with in the summer and how they play in the high school season.
You know, last year we were super young with 9 or 10 new players in the lineup, and they lose in the section final and took it into this year with their goal basically from day one to win the section final, and we accomplished that last Thursday.
Maple Grove and Chanhassen play at 9 a.m. Thursday. Hopkins opens play against Anoka at the same time. Totino-Grace is set to begin play in the Class 3A softball tournament, also on Thursday. Though they have a strong tradition in the sport, the Eagles will be making their first trip to state since 2011. The Eagles earned the second seed for the 3A tourney. They'll face Big Lake in the opening round. Totino-Grace beat Monarch in the Section 4 championship last week, and it's been a thrill to be headed to state.
We definitely had a comeback. We all really wanted to go to state this year. Like, that was our mission, was to go to state. And now that we've achieved it, now we're like all relaxed and just ready to go and have some fun.
Coming into the section final game, playing Matamidi, who beat us last year, it was just, the emotions were so much higher, and like getting that victory over them was that much sweeter.
Eagles play against mostly Class 4A teams in the Northwest Suburban. They think that will have them ready for the 3A tournament.
I think it really helps us because I think we've seen some of the best and a few teams who aren't in the state tournament from our conference that probably had a good shot at making it and just didn't quite get there. So I think we're really prepared to go in there and just do our best.
It's helped us a ton. Just the close games that we're going to see down the state tournament. Our kids don't get rattled. They figure out a way to win games. I've told several people that, but it's just a group that doesn't get down.
Totino-Grace and Big Lake play at 11 a.m. Thursday. That's it for sports. Mike and Alex, back to you.
All right, John, thank you very much, and we'll be right back. Volunteers are digging in to help grow the population of endangered monarch butterflies.
Plymouth's Northwest Greenway Trail provides the perfect opportunity to plant more than 400 milkweed plants on a stretch of land to be called Butterfly Hill. Volunteers from Prudential Financial planted the milkweed, which will serve as a regenerating habitat and a food source for monarch butterflies and other pollinators.
The Greenway in its entirety is to be kind of a corridor for people and wildlife. So this is a good way to encourage, a species that's struggling, that's having a hard time finding milkweed.
Plymouth got the milkweed for free from a program at the University of Kansas. An island off the Italian coast may be a tourism hotspot of the future.
But you can experience its history without even leaving Brooklyn Park.
In this image here, it shows a site being excavated, and all the little houses and streets and whatnot are all with bricks piled or stones piled on top of each other.
A photo exhibit about Sardinia is on display at North Hennepin Community College. And since the island resembles a footprint, there was a myth that it was the first footstep of God on Earth. A pair of Brooklyn Park residents put the exhibit together.
We have Neolithic cities, megaliths that remind us of maybe Stonehenge, built at the same time perhaps as the pyramids, massive stones, all done without the wheel, and these are being excavated throughout the island that give people something to look at besides the sunny beaches.
Beautiful stuff. The photo exhibit will be on display through the end of the month. That's it for now. Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you back here on Thursday.